Today we will be talking about negotiations. I was driving across the United States from North Carolina to Utah in a U-Haul when I got offered my first job out of graduate school. I was so excited, I immediately accepted the offer. To my surprise, my manager replied with something like, "Oh, well, I thought you would counter. Well, I'll tell them you asked for more and get back to you." That was a good early career lesson for me to learn that most employers actually expect some negotiation, and it's just a bonus for their bottom line if you don't. By my next job offer, I decided I knew better, but I was still anxious and not very confident about negotiating. When I half-heartedly tried, my new boss told me, "They are really doing the best they can here with this offer. You know how higher education is. There's only a limited percentage they can go up." So I didn't push it, and I didn't ask him to ask HR. I wish I had. Why? Well, a couple of years later, I decided to talk to HR about how to get a raise. They said my options were limited, but I should have negotiated for a higher salary in the first place. I said I was told that wasn't possible, and she said, "It's always possible. If you want a raise, you'll have to get hired in a new position, and then you can negotiate." My friend's mom is from another country, and she says that you should never, ever negotiate. Even people from the US often feel the same way. Maybe they think it is ungrateful or pretentious. Maybe it's just uncomfortable or scary, or maybe just the offer was just better than they expected. So should someone actually negotiate when offered a new position? Certainly you'll have to decide what you are comfortable with and willing to do. But salary lost at the hiring table equals lost wages for the rest of your career, because what you are paid now places you on a trajectory for what you will get paid in the future. Think about raises and bonuses that are based on percentages and leveraging power when negotiating for your next job. After a successful negotiation, you may start out earning what may otherwise have taken you years to get to with just raises alone. And we have all heard that women often get paid less than men, right? Often this is a direct result of women being less comfortable negotiating compared to their male counterparts. According to SHRM, which is the Society for Human Resource Management, in 2018, 68% of men negotiated salary and only 45% of women did. Yet the same article suggested that at one large staffing firm, 70% of hiring managers expected candidates to negotiate. That means many companies are going to lowball an offer just to see if you'll take it, fully expecting that you will ask for more. So if you are uncomfortable with the idea of negotiating, try it out as an experiment. If you ask appropriately and professionally, the worst they will do is say they can't make it work. But on the other hand, you may gain much more than you expected if it does work out. So, how can you prepare to negotiate in a professional and appropriate manner? At the end of the interview, you will usually be given a time frame to hear back from the company. This is when you should start planning to prepare for negotiations, during the time in between the interview and when they get back to you, just in case they do offer you the position. Once they offer you the position, negotiations have opened. During this waiting time, it is essential to do your research and to be ready for the job offer. It is true that some job offers have been rescinded due to poor negotiations, particularly asking for way too much money, being too aggressive, being inflexible, and basically just coming across entitled and rude. So you will want to know what you are actually worth, according to industry standards, so you can get a fair offer. And just to diffuse any worry, I don't believe you have to stress about the offer being rescinded, as long as you are polite and professional and reasonable in what you ask for. If you are a member of the AAPA, you can access an incredible resource, the AAPA Salary Report. That way you can see exactly what is typical pay for someone with your level of experience, and you can align your expectations with what is appropriate for your level. You may also utilize the resources discussed in previous interview screencasts, including bls.gov and careerstop.org, for more information on salary. It is also helpful to consider using a salary range rather than a specific number. This can help you come across as more agreeable and flexible. Next, you will want to be ready to articulate what value you will offer to them. Just saying you have an expensive mortgage, that you need to buy a new car, or that you are the primary breadwinner for your family has nothing to do with them. It reminds me of when people say, well, that sounds like a personal problem. Instead, you will be much more compelling if you can convince them you are worth what you're asking for. Think about what's in it for them. What will you contribute that they will miss out on if they didn't choose you? Why are you someone whose value is equal to what you are asking for? Why are you worth what you are asking for? Again, stick with the industry standard and be realistic. Just because you're pretty cool, it doesn't mean it would be appropriate for you to make $40,000 more than other people at your level. When you actually have the conversation offering you the position, don't ever immediately accept the offer. Doing so kills negotiations, and any counter offers are usually impossible. Instead, they will expect for you to take time to think about things before you give them a decision. And if you don't have all of the information available, benefits, for example, you can ask for that information so you can run some numbers. Something like, I'm excited you are offering me the position. Would it be possible to get the details of the benefits package so I can run some numbers? How long do I have before you need an answer? Would be appropriate. You could also start negotiations right there. I appreciate the offer. I'm really excited about your clinic. I was thinking more like between this amount and this amount, which is comparable to industry standards for PAs with my level of experience. I'm confident you'll find my personality and drive the right fit with your group. One interesting suggestion I have heard is to pause before responding to the offer. Why do you think this might work? Without even saying anything, a pause may cause them to wonder what you are thinking. They might start thinking, uh-oh, are they not happy with our offer? Sometimes they will jump in with a higher offer without you even saying anything. When asking for more, again, try a salary range rather than a specific number. Stay objective and non-emotional. Stick to the facts and focus on the value you will bring to them, not what your own financial needs are. Approach negotiations as a problem solver, willing to work together toward a common goal rather than just someone trying to win. If you have already worked with that company in the past, it would be unwise to not focus on that. For example, you might say something like, because I have already spent 5 weeks in the clinic for a clinical rotation, you already know that I am a fit with your group, and I have already been trained in many of your processes. I will be ready to jump right in. You can plan ahead for what you might say and how you can say it in a tactful way. Practice with family members or friends so you come across as both confident but also nice. You might say something like, I know the salary range says this, but I offer this. What can we do to get closer to this amount? According to the American Academy of Physician Assistants, most new PAs are paid between this and this. Based on this, I think it is fair for my salary to match what is typical for the industry standard. Or, I really appreciate the offer. With my experience in this, I was thinking more like this amount. Sometimes there is little that can be done to accommodate your salary requests, but there may be other benefits that can also offer value. And similarly, you'll want to keep in mind benefits packages when deciding what you can and can't do. For example, I was once offered a salary that sounded incredible, but when I factored in benefits like retirement and health insurance, I realized the salary increase was barely noticeable from what I was currently making. On the other hand, I once had a job that did not pay a lot, but they did pay 12% of my salary into retirement, which is significant. Sometimes you can get benefits that aren't connected to salary at all. Maybe you can negotiate coming in late every day, or how often you take call, whether or not they'll pay for CME credits, what kinds of days off you'll get, can you work from home, is there childcare provided, etc. While it doesn't hurt to ask, don't be too aggressive with your counter offers. Know when to say thank you or no thank you and stop negotiations. You certainly do not want to come across as ungrateful, hard to work with, and someone who is never happy. Even if things don't go exactly your way, try to express gratitude for their willingness to help you. Once you've completed the negotiation conversations, ask to get everything confirmed in writing. Say something like, I would like to get this confirmed to me in writing. Can you please send me an email summarizing what we have discussed? Why? Well, sometimes people forget, and they're promised something that doesn't end up happening. Sometimes it's because people have bad intentions. So it's just safest to get it confirmed that you're going to get every fourth Saturday off or that they agreed to buy you a gym pass. You can even email them with a summary of the details if you wish, asking them to confirm that that's what you agreed upon. I came across this website by Nick Kalenda that had some interesting tips on negotiating tactics. Check it out. I think it's worth your time. I can't say I agree with all of the tips. For instance, he says getting angry can be a positive and helpful thing. And I don't agree with that. But some of the other thoughts are very interesting and might be helpful as you approach negotiations. Now keep in mind, many entry-level positions will have very little wiggle room for negotiating. They might pay all new grads at the same exact salary. Your first negotiations might not end up in the results you're hoping for. But as you gain more experience and mature in your career, your leverage will grow. And you'll also gain more experience and practice negotiating. So if you're nice and professional, it doesn't hurt to ask, and good luck. That concludes today's lecture. Remember to complete the negotiating worksheet homework.